What is good, Genesis Duelists? It is the Mike Man here with some excellent news. Miscellaneousaurus, our boy, Misk, is 67 points. We went from 75 to 67, but that's not all. This point update gave us a lot of buffs, okay? We have a lot of options now, which is excellent. The first good change for us is Dark Hole going from 3 to 1, so that gives us more options with Dark Hole. And yeah, it combos well with the babies. The next great change for us is Pankratops going from 10 to 5. Now, of course, that's excellent. Pankratops is a great board-breaking card that's a dinosaur. You can tutor it out with Petit Pteranodon. It's you can search it with Oviraptor, so it's just good to have as a utility, at least a one of in your deck, so it's nice that we have that option on the table now. 10 points was really high before, so it was really pushing it if you wanted to play it. But now that we have 5, now that it's only 5 points, that's excellent. 10 points for Slumber is still pretty high, but it is an option. It pops your babies. But it's just a kind of a worse Dark Hole, honestly. Diagram going from 33 to 15 is pretty big if you want to play like True King dinos. You could theoretically play 2 Diagram, 1 Misk. Of course, we got Falsa to 33, and that's like fits perfectly with Misk, because now you can play exactly 1 Falsa 1 Misk as your total 100 points. Is that great? Not great, but it's not terrible, because you're essentially playing 2 Misk, and that's obviously really good. You have like a much higher chance of seeing Misk at that point. No one's on Droll, so you could false dig for Misk and still be fine. Some of the best, like one of the best like board breaking that dinosaurs can do is Misk plus Stego. If you open Misk plus Stego, you will just clear a lot of boards. You just activate Misk from hand, all your dinos are unaffected, you normal summon Stego, go into Meteor, and then boom, you just wipe the opponent's board. So being able to essentially double your chances of hard opening Misk, it's the option's on the table, and it's a good thing that we at least have the option. Ever since we got GMX and Burst Protocol, I've been cooking GMX, Jurrac, and Dinosaur, all 3 engines, mixing them together to create Jurrac, GMX, Dinosaur in Genesys format, and they flow really well into each other. All 3 engines just have a lot of synergy, and they all complement each other really well. So that's, moving forward, that's the direction I'll be taking dinosaurs in Genesys format. And with this incredible point update, that's just, oh man, it's a good time to be a dinosaur player, man, in Genesys format. It just is. So back before the point update, back when Misk was 75 points, I actually got first place in a Genesys pod, and I won a Genesys playmat at the San Diego Regionals with Jurrac, GMX, Dinosaur, back when Misk was 75 points. I was actually working on the deck profile, and then while I was editing it, that's when the point update came out. So bittersweet, of course, the sweet greatly outweighs the bitter, because Misk is now 67 points, Pank is now 5 points. But yeah, so I was in the middle of editing my Genesys deck profile, and then Genesys point update comes out. So that deck list is now obsolete. So I'm going to be showing you guys my new deck list. My old deck list, which is just worse in like every way, did get first place. So these new deck lists I'm showing you are a buffed version of that. So these new deck lists, I would argue, have merit. But what I will be doing is I'm going to be taking clips from my old deck profile that is out of date, where I still talk about the things that didn't change, right? Like I'm still playing the GMX stuff, I'm still playing Dinosaur stuff, I'm still playing Jurrac stuff. I'm going to take clips of those and repurpose them into this video so you guys get an idea of the general core of the deck, the general engine part of the deck. And then what I'm going to be talking about right now is what to do with the points, right? Because that's really what changed. I was on like pretty much the engine stays the same. In terms of non-engine, that's where things vary. What's going on, Dino Duelists? It is your man's Amazing Mike Man here with a Dinosaur Jurrac GMX deck profile for Genesys format. I won a Genesys pod in the Los Angeles Regional with it, and I feel pretty good about this deck profile. I'll show you guys how I approach using the GMX guys in Genesys format. Luckily, they're not pointed at all, and let's talk about the GMX for a minute. The GMX guys, they provide some a lot of gas for the dinosaur deck. Like I know people first glance are like, oh, they don't do much, but like they're an engine. That's what they are. Like there's no end board pieces, but they're just a powerful engine. I mean, these are all like 1-card starters, you know. So my deck build is just like my previous one, where I'm like really focusing on engine, right? Not too much non-engine. So, which is great because I'm able to like just push through a lot of boards with just raw engine. Like it's really strong. So we're gonna get into the card per card now. First off, we got like the main dinosaur engine. We have 3 Oviraptor, 3 Babycerosaurus, we have 3 Petit Pteranodon. But the fact that we're not on Fossil Dig, you really want to like pop one of these guys to get going, right? Because then you get your OV, then you get your MISC. That's my way to consistently see MISC, is finding a way to pop these guys. So that's why I'm maxing out on 6, because you don't have Fossil Dig. You can't just Fossil Dig for MISC. You have to like special OV somehow, and these are your ways to special summon Oviraptor. We're on the 1 MISC, 75 points right here. And luckily, I mean, you're going to get your MISC into rotation one way or another, through summoning OV at some point or using GX Stego to send it. You're going to get your MISC into play. And then you have multiple ways to recycle MISC between GMX Alos and Transcendosaurus Drolignanthus. So you're able to actually have a good grind game with this, especially MISC and Alos having both in rotation, because once you get into the follow-up situation where it's like turn 2 or 3 or whatever, and you have your MISC that's in the graveyard, you could banish MISC, summon Oviraptor, and then Oviraptor can, because at that point you're going to have a tuner left over from your meteors that you're nuking on the opponent's field. So then you're going to have OV, pop that tuner, bring back Alos, and then Alos can bring back MISC, and then you can make a rank 4 in the grind game, so it's really strong. So you can basically continuously loot MISC by just having MISC Alos. It's really good. We are on double Conductor. It's good to have 2 Conductor for the grind game, but the main reason I play 2 is so you don't have any zones in Genesys. So what you'll be doing sometimes is you'll be using your other dinosaur stuff, to like your GMX or your regular dinosaurs, to make like a Volzars or to make like the GMX monsters. And then you'll have Stego, and normally in the standard Jurrac combo you have Stego, send MISC, special 4 level 1s. However, you're not going to have enough zones to do that. So what I do is I have Stego send a second Conductor, and then special summon Titano level 9 and level 1. So that's really why we play the second. We're on Xenometeorus and Frostosaurus. These guys are great. They give us a rank 6 package through Transcendosaurus Drolignanthus and through Volzar Lars. So it's pretty good. It's really nice having the vanilla to summon off of Xenometeorus, because this means that when you activate Ground Xeno, or when you get Xenometeorus into play, and you have like, you can basically continuously pop babies to continuously spam bodies on field. So it gives you just way more gas having this 1 brick. And then also, of course, you can make a rank 6, like a Volzar Lars, or Transcendosaurus Drolignanthus. Lars is 20 points, and you don't even need to play Lars, but I would recommend some vanilla. If you're not playing Frost, at least the level 4, because the vanilla at least lets you continue to pop babies and get more advantage. Then you could pivot into more engines, right? Because then you pop the baby, and then you could summon another dinosaur and keep going from there. We're on the 1 Arco, 1 Pill. The reason I'm on Arco Pill is because you're going to have hands where maybe your starters are like OV Baby, and then OV Baby is combo because you add MISC. MISC gets Archosaur, Arco pops Baby, then you get Pill. But there are so many different ways to combo in this deck. You don't necessarily need Arco Pill to combo, but there's going to be some times where it happens. Also, Double Evolution Pill is going to be almost always live because you have the GMX stuff. Once you resolve a fusion summon and to summon a GMX monster, you're going to have a non-dino in the grave, so Pill's going to be live. But also, if you draw like an Archosaur or a Pill or whatever, and let's say you draw Pill, and you're not able to do the Archosaur combo, that's totally okay because you have so many other ways to pop babies. Whether it's Xenometeorus, whether it's Jurrac Volcano, you're going to be able to access your engine even if you draw this. And then lastly, we're on a 1 of Doggeran. It's very nice to have a searchable Kaiju in the mix. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Jurrac engine. We have 3 Jurrac Stego. This guy's a 1-card combo, and his effect is pretty damn crazy. It says, basically, destroy a card you control, send a dinosaur from deck to grave, and special summon any number of Jurracs from hand or deck. This card is Foolish Burial and Soul Charge, all in 1 effect. It's crazy. It also has other utility too. If it's a Stroba battle, you can non-target bounce a card, so this can help you break boards as well. We are also on 3 Jurrac Megalo. This card is really good. If you control a dinosaur, you get special from hand. This could help you fix hands, because if you see a bunch of Jurrac cards, Jurrac names, you can discard 2 and draw 2, so it helps you fix your hands. If it's popped, you can get your Estero into the graveyard. And it's also like an extra body. This card combos really well with your GMX engine, because what's going to happen is through your dinosaur combos, you can special summon Return Dino Deneen. This guy will search you a GMX card. You're probably going to get Chairman Kimmeridge, and then Kimmeridge will get you 55. Then you fusion summon, and then you get your Alos, right? And then Alos can bring something back. But the cool thing there is when you have Alos plus Deneen, the level 1, basically these guys plus the level 8 make Estero. And then Estero could get you your Jurrac Volcano, and then Volcano can pop any card you control, and then get your Stego online, and then your Stego is full Jurrac combo. And then we are also on 2 Aolo. It's a brick, but it can tribute itself to bring back any of these guys, which are good cards. So, of course, you don't really want to draw it, but if you do, if you can access Megalo, you can pitch this card plus another card in your hand to draw 2 cards. So it's not terrible. Like, if you're going to be playing any bricks, the Jurrac bricks at least have some value in your hand. We're also on 1 Jurrac Titano because, like I mentioned earlier, you're not going to have the zones to do the full normal Jurrac Stego combo all the time, because this locks into Dino, so you want to do this last. Usually what you're going to do is you're going to do your other stuff first, and then pop itself, send Conductor, summon Titano Megalo, go into Astero, and then continue popping off from there. And then lastly, I am on the 1 of Jurrac Impact. At any point you could nuke the field, so this is really good to chain to like continuous or field spells and traps, especially when they have like on activation effects, because you can deny those effects. And then your field floats, especially if you end on like babies, then you could just continue to float and continue to pop the babies to continue to float. You're usually fine just nuking your field, because then your Asteros are in the graveyard and you could just continue popping. Now here's the moment we've all been waiting for, the moment that everyone wants to see, the GMX stuff. What is my ratios? I am on 3 Chairman Kimmeridge, 3 Salond, because you need a significant number of these guys to play, and then 1 Deneen, 155. Now 55 is a good card, don't get me wrong. I'm not, it's not a brick. You could play more, but the reason I'm on 155 is because I'm playing 1 because you don't really want to see, like, you don't want to open multiple, because it's a hard one for sure, and you don't want to open multiple Kimmeridges. I've seen a lot of people play 655, and they'll play, or sorry, 355, 3 Kimmeridge, but like, if you open 2 of these guys, it's redundant. Like, you don't want to have redundant hands. These help the deck, but these aren't necessarily like the blood of the deck. They're more like, give the deck extra pushes, extra consistency, extra gas, and extra follow-up with Alos. So it's good, but you don't really want to see too much of it. Like you only want to see like 1 of these in your hand. Salond is an okay starter. It's not great. It's not great because you have Jurrac Volcano, which is an incredible extender, right? If this gets impermed, veilered, ashed, whatever, you can't like Volcano pop this to continue popping off. This still does get you into your GMX stuff, right? Because then you activate the effect, summon Deneen. Deneen gets you Kimmeridge gets you 55, and then you fire off the 55, and then you get Alos. Depending on what you mill, you can go to full Jurrac combo. If you mill Stego, if you mill Overraptor, that's great. So, depending on what you mill, you can kind of go from there. Let's say you normal Salond, right? Salond effect, summon Deneen. Deneen effect gets you Kimmeridge. Kimmeridge gets you 55, right? You're gonna go ahead. You're gonna activate that 55. You're gonna mill, right? Let's say a very common mill you'll get is a level 1 Jurrac tuner, because we're on 5 level 1 Jurrac tuners. So it's very likely, you're not super likely, because you're on so many dinosaurs, you're going to get to choose which dinosaur you want to mill, but sometimes you're going to be in a situation where you have to go with one of these. Let's say it's worst case scenario, it's Aolo, right? You mill Aolo, it's in the graveyard, but you're going to summon Alos. Alos effect, bring this back, sink for 10, then you summon Astero. Astero gets your field spell, then you get Volcano. Volcano pop Astero. Astero gets Stego. And then here you have full Stego combo, right? Stego pop a card you control. You don't really need this on field anymore. It's like, this can't convert into anything. And then you go send Misk, 4 level 1s, and then you go full Jurrac combo from there. Now you pair the GMX stuff with the other cards in your hand, you're going to have a lot of gas, right? So 55 is a lot of fun. Be wary, like, you can kill yourself if you use this. But it's unlikely, especially in this build, because this build's only 45 cards, so you're going to hit a GMX. You're on 6 GMX cards. Remember, it's important to note Deneen is not a GMX, so don't make that mistake. I mean, this is great. This can get you, depending on your hand, right? If you open, like, this plus Baby, that's full combo, right? Because this gets you Archosaur. Normal, this get Archosaur, Archopop Baby, full combo. If you open this plus Jurrac Volcano and it doesn't get impermed, you could summon Baby, and then Jurrac Volcano pop the Baby, then pop off from there. So it's very flexible. And then this just gets you 55, which helps you, just gives you more lines of play, right? And the Deneen's an important piece. I'm only on 1 because this is a brick. You don't necessarily want to see it. And yeah, so Deneen is a brick, but it is pretty necessary because you can summon this off of babies and then go and then bridge into your GMX stuff. Up next, we have just some gas cards, Ground Zeno and Volcano. These all pop your babies. You have so many things that pops babies. You have, see, this is why I'm on triple petite. I mean, look at all these cards. 3 of, 1 of. All these cards combo with your babies and pop your babies, and then will get you to your Misk. Like, you really need to see Misk, so that's why I'm on all these cards. But yeah, I mean, this not only pops the baby, but gets you into your full Jurrac combo, so that's really important. This gets you your Stego. Now this is probably the best baby popper in the deck because it lets you chain block. you can add Xenometeorus, and then chainlink 1 baby, chainlink 2 Xenometeorus, and then you go into Lars or Drill, depending on where you want to go with your combo. But this is like probably the best baby popper in the deck. Up next, we have the extra deck. We are on 3 JURRAC Astero and 3 JURRAC Meteor, and of course the 1 JURRAC Elfito. I am not on Hornbrute Carnivorous. I cut it because with the new GMX stuff, we're a bit tighter on space. Hornbrute Carnivorous is nice, but not entirely necessary. We're on the 1 of Chenging. We're on the Evolzars. Logia and Dolka are great. We're on the 1 of Lars. This is 20 points. We're on 1 Giga Cannon and 1 Drillognathus. These guys are dinosaurs, so they help you when you're dino locked. This guy's great because he helps you recycle Misk. The battle phase effect can come up very rarely, but it can. But I mainly have him as a guy that just pops something when he's popped. And there's a lot of times where this can actually win you the game where the opponent's like very low on life, and then this can just kill them with the last 1,000. Because all you gotta do is pop it, and then you just burn for 1,000. And then GMX Alos, GMX Velox. Alos is really good for bringing stuff back. You gotta remember he cannot attack if you use that effect. Velox is a good end board piece. Like when you're dino locked into when Stego dino locks you, this is a good addition to your end board because you can't make a Volzars. So it's a 1 card pop, but that's good because it just gives your end board a bit stronger. But it's not just 1 card pop; it gives you more follow up because you're gonna mill and then reveal a dinosaur, add it to hand or special. So that's really strong, and you can recoup some life. So these guys are great. Now on to the side deck: 3 Cosmic, 3 Gravity Collapse. I said this in going first. It's really good in JURRAC because we want our Synchros in the graveyard. So I just send a Stero and then ends their turn. Like MBZ said in his recent Genesis video, it's not great against like every deck, but I'll still set it in because if they don't have an answer for it, I just end their turn. It's just an auto win, you know, so it's pretty good. Kaijus are just good. I like Kaijus. Help you go second. Hatronade, this is for back row decks. This is for just being able to like force out their back row is really good. I'm siding 1 Giant Rex. This is for any sort of shifter decks because if you get if they shifter you, you need to like do something. So your Ovi and Stego can foolish this, and then it'll summon it, and then you could make like a Logia or something, which is a lot better than nothing. If you make like a Logia or Dolka, they have to play through that. So, and then 1 of Quatless. I set this in for against like decks that have a lot of like spells and traps that activate, and that the nuking isn't necessarily great for. And then Sorrelease. Sorrelease is because there's a lot of like layered end boards and graveyards can be pesky. And that was my Dinosaur JURRAC GMX deck profile for Genesys Format. I like it a lot. A couple things I'd change, but yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more competitions with this and playing with it. Anyway, peace guys. See you later. What I'm going to be talking about right now is what to do with the points, right? Because that's really what changed. I was on like pretty much the engine stays the same. In terms of non-engine, that sort of things vary. Like before, I was not on Pankratops, which you could argue is part of engine because it's a dinosaur. You could summon it off of Pank. You could search it off of Oviraptor, right? You could summon it off of Double Evolution Pill. Pankratops is part of your engine, but it's also non-engine. But like I was on Dark Ruler No More. I cut that. I was going to cut those anyway because Dark Ruler No More was by far like the worst card of my deck. Because when you're going second with Dinosaur, you really want to try to kill the opponent, especially in Genesys format, because whoever goes first, they can set themselves up follow-up. And if you can't kill them, it's very likely that they're going to re-establish control of the game. Just how Genesys format works, right? Going first is really strong in Genesys format. And they could and a lot of these decks can just establish some really powerful follow-up. So even though you can break a board with like Dark Ruler, that doesn't necessarily like, you know, isn't enough. And the fact that it like locks you out of killing the opponent kind of makes Dark Ruler kind of weak. Because I'd personally rather just try to kill them and not give them a chance to have follow-up and take the game back. So I cut Dark Ruler in my old deck profile. And let's talk about some options. So personally, I love Evolzar Lars. I think it's, and the fact that Misk is now 67 points, I feel a lot more comfortable playing Misk and Evolzar Lars. I was playing Lars in my list that got first place in the Genesys pod. And that was back when Misk was 75 points. So 75 from Misk, 20 on Lars. That was 95 points. My extra 5 points went to a Forbidden Chalice. That was it. 1 Chalice, 3 Dark Ruler, and like a main deck Kaiju, and that was my non-engine. I just really tried to push through the end boards with just pure engine. So this is just like better than the Dark Ruler version because instead of like 3 Dark Ruler, 1 Chalice, I'm looking to play 1 Pank, 1 Fualos, 3 Kaijus, and 1 Dark Hole. So yeah, this is how I'm spreading the non-engine here. Obviously, this is still very low in terms of this is still very like low count in terms of non-engine. You don't have much, not like other decks where they can like play a bunch of hand traps. So that's if you choose to play Lars, you're giving up the ability to play. Your non-engine is going to be weaker if you choose to play Lars. So this is one direction to take the deck. The other direction to take it is this variant right here, where instead of playing Volzar Lars, you play Volzar Solda, right? Solda is not nearly as good as Lars, but it still has its merit. Volzar Solda, what a Volzar Solda has over Lars is it can't be destroyed by card effects, while it has material. So when you're nuking the field with Jurrac Meteor, Solda is just immune to that. It just stays on field, so that's pretty good. And you get max value out of Solda. But yeah, Solda is just more removal. And the reason I really like Lars is because Lars provides negation, whereas the Jurrac end board is you have enough removal. You have GMX Velox, you have 3 Meteors, and then plus you have Jurrac Impact. So you really have 4 nukes. You know, what is 2 more pops? Your 4 nukes are going to win anyway if the deck has any sort of vulnerability to removal. That's why I like having Lars, because Lars provides negation where, depending on the matchup, right? Like if it's a Ritual or Fusion deck that's just more immune to, or more resistant to removal, you could choose to negate their spells. You negate their Ritual and Fusion spells. Basically, Solda is a bit redundant. That's the problem with it, because this deck has a lot of removal, whereas 2 Omni negates is really strong, and I like having that ability. But the problem with Lars is it could just get Kaiju'd. It could just get Sphere Moded, Lava Golem. Like, there's a lot of things that just deal with this. But the cool thing about Lars is you're not always summoning it on your turn 1 board. What I tend to do sometimes is I'll actually summon Drillignathus in my turn 1 board. And my turn 1 board has like Drillignathus, Asteros, maybe like a Velox, maybe a Dolka or Logia, right? And then I nuke the field. Drill will shuffle back the Frost back into the deck. And then in the follow-up, right, because Meteor summons Tuners, I summon back the Xeno that's in the graveyard that was part of Drillignathus' material. And then on my turn, I activate Xeno Meteorus, get Frost back, because I shuffled Frost back into the deck, and then make Lars in the grind game. Now that's where Lars really excels in this deck, because if you just summon Lars as your part of your turn 1 board, they're just going to Kaiju it, you know? And sometimes it's good to put them on, hey, better have the Kaiju, better have the Ultimate Slayer, or whatever. But it can be really devastating for the opponent. They have the Kaiju, and they're burning their Kaijus on Astero. Like, thanks, I want my Astero in the graveyard anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're burning up all their board breakers on your Jurrac board. Then in the grind game, then you summon Lars. They're not coming back. If you want to spend 20 points on Lars, 67 on Misk, I would say these are probably the best way to spend your remaining points. Fua is probably like the best hand trap you can play. I mean, 7 points for Fua, and then 5. We don't have enough space for a second Fua, so with 6 points to spare, 1 Pank, 1 Dark Hole is probably the best way to do it. Having Pank and Dinosaurs is really good. Like I said before, you can tutor out Pank through Petit Pteranodon, you can search it off of Overraptor, you can get it through Pill. Petit has a lot of synergy with your engine, or Pankertops has a lot of synergy with your engine, so I think that's a very well spent 5 points here. And then the one of Dark Hole has a lot of synergy with Baby and Petite, and it's only 1 point, so it's like a nice little thing you could squeeze in here. You could also cut it, make it 43, and instead of Dark Hole, just put like a Cosmic in your side deck. That's another option. It's personal preference, really. But I decided to put Dark Hole because I don't have too many like non-engine going second cards, right? So I feel like it was worth the spot to put in that Dark Hole. In terms of Jurrac Volcano, this is a bit different than the deck profile I showed you guys. Because I usually play 3 Jurrac Volcano, which I do really like. The problem with Jurrac Volcano is it's really strong going first, it's bad going second, right? A lot of boards are too strong to, you know, where this can reliably serve as good follow-up. When you're going first, this is actually excellent follow-up. You normal summon Overraptor or something, right? And then it gets Veilered or something, Impermed, whatever. You could activate Volcano and then pivot. You know, this is just excellent follow-up. It just pops a Dinosaur and then just you pivot into your Jurrac engine. It's just excellent. It's an excellent extender. And also, if you open multiple, you can pitch it off Megalo and draw 2. But going second, it's just kind of really bad. It's not strong going second. So I have it in the side, a third copy in the side for when I go first. Now here in the list without Lars, the problem is we don't have Lars. So the weakness here is that We don't have as much access to negation. However, we get to play triple Fualos, which I think is pretty strong. It helps us go second a lot better, and we still have space for not one but 2 Pankratops. Now this could be Pank Chalice if you so choose, but I like double Pank because it's very unlikely you're going to draw 2 Pank, and not just that, but I just like Pank more than Chalice. Chalice clears 1 thing. Pank usually can clear 2. Can just deal with 2 things. And then we have 2 points left over for double Cosmic. And yeah, so that's those are some of the options you could do with the point updates. Another option you could do, like I said before, 1 Misk, 1 Falsa Dig, and then maybe just main deck a fuck ton of Kaijus. That's something you could do. If you were gonna go the Misk Falsa Dig route, I would recommend keeping the deck list to 40. That way you maximize your chances of drawing Misk, especially drawing Misk plus Dago. You could also play Double Diagram in Misk. So yeah, I mean, this point update is just incredible. There are so many options for us. You know, it's a good time to be a Dino player, a good time to be a Dino Genesis player, man. So that was it. I hope you guys liked the deck profile. Peace out, guys. I'll see you next time.